great he is. We get all of that, Max. But people have been raving and lauding praise down upon Patrick Mahomes since he became a starter in the league and he threw 50 touchdowns in his first year as a starter. We've seen all of that. You know what we haven't? The one thing we haven't seen from Patrick Mahomes, Max, is if he's angry and he feels like somebody's trying to throw shade on him. We have not seen how he would respond to that. We can only imagine how he would respond, but we haven't seen it yet. And the Raiders are my team that I'd say is the sleeper. I think John Gruden's doing a hell of a job along with Mike Mayock. I do. I think they deserve a lot of credit. I think Derek Carr, who's been on a mission to regain some of the respect he thinks he may have lost over the last few years, he's having an outstanding season. I've been very impressed with what I've seen with Derek Carr, not turning the ball open, throwing the ball with some accuracy, not folding under pressure, what have you. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from Derek Carr. Then you've got, obviously, Ruggs, and you've got Waller and these boys, and Josh Jacobs running the football. They could play smash mouth if you ask them to. They've got a really good offensive line. I'm just looking at the Raiders right now, and based on what I'm seeing from them, I'm like, okay, what you got? And because I think this weekend, regardless of everything I just said, I think the Chiefs are going to give it to them. I think the Chiefs are going to come out looking at that one blemish on their record. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to be looking for a potential blowout this Sunday with the Chiefs and the Raiders. We need to keep our eyes on that. The Raiders better be ready because they could be in some trouble.
Well, the Chiefs are capable of blowing out any team. And I hear what you're saying. I think it's an interesting point about Mahomes and the Chiefs. Like, they have something to prove now against the Raiders, divisional rival. But the Chiefs, let's not forget, the Raiders, rather, let's not forget, had the same situation going into the first game. So Derek Carr especially, can he throw it down the field? And he obviously was highly motivated. Let's see what happens with Mahomes now. I like that point. But if the question is, can the Raiders win again? The answer is yes. A lot of things have to go right, but they did the first time they met. First of all, the Chiefs want to avoid shootouts, which is shocking. I keep telling you this, Stephen A. Casey Joyner, the football scientist, appears on the Max Kellerman Show, ESPN Radio, 2 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. And informed me several weeks ago, Chiefs want to avoid shootouts. What? When Mahomes burst on the scene in 2018, they were beating everyone with shootouts. What do you mean they want to avoid shootouts? They want to avoid shootouts. They're above 500 in those kind of games, but not much. And in every other game, they're almost undefeated. So if you can get into a shootout with the Chiefs, at least you have a chance. But the Raiders didn't simply get into a shootout with them. They got excellent line play. They had some speed on the outside, and Derek Carr was throwing good passes, accurate passes down the field. So they jumped out to a lead. And in the second half, rather than continuing to do that, Gruden showed his chops, which, if you've watched Gruden at all, he's got them, coaching chops. When he stopped taking those shots down the field and with a lead, starts to run the ball, right? A lot of things went right for them, including excellent offensive line play against the Chiefs defense, which in the last year and a half has actually been very good for the most part. Mm-hmm. Excellent play by Derek Carr and smart coaching late in the game to grind it out after throwing the ball down the field. The question is, can the Raiders repeat that, or can Gruden have another trick up his sleeve? In other words, do we think that's a parlor trick Gruden ran, or do we think he's actually an excellent coach and can make adjustments? I think Gruden's actually an excellent coach and can make adjustments. I think Derek Carr is capable of playing at a high level. Whether or not he always does, he'll be highly motivated to do that now. And I think the Raiders have shown that they can draw the Chiefs into a shootout, into a slugfest, which at least gives them a chance. They could sweep. The Chiefs could wind up losing the season series, getting swept by the Raiders, and those being the only 2 losses on their record in the regular season. This could happen.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me do this, guys. RC, I know you didn't get to weigh in on this, but I want to transition to the breaking news right now on First Take. Saints quarterback Taysom Hill will start Sunday against the Falcons in place of the injured Drew Brees. A source telling our Adam Schefter Hill took all the starter reps in practice this week. He will be backed up by Jameis Winston on Sunday. Ryan, tell me this. You're down there in New Orleans. Do you think Taysom Hill gives the Saints the best chance until Brees comes back?
No, I don't. But I do think Taysom Hill changes everything. I think Taysom Hill, you look at what the Baltimore Ravens do, I think you think that on steroids, because I believe they're going to run the ball constantly, continuously. I believe if his first read isn't open, Taysom Hill is going to take off. But all I can think of is how bad must Jameis Winston look? How bad does he have to be in practice? Or on the other side of it, like, has Sean Payton been telling us the truth this whole time? Sean Payton said that this was Steve Young. Sean Payton said that he was the future of the New Orleans Saints and Taysom Hill. Like, I just don't know if I believe that. When I watch him, even when he runs his Wildcat reps and you look at the footballs that he throws, nothing about those balls says future Hall of Famer like Steve Young was. I don't necessarily believe that Taysom Hill is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. So when I think about what the New Orleans Saints could be with Jameis Winston, if Jameis Winston does push the ball down the field, if you eliminate some of the turnovers, that excites me. That makes me feel like, okay, this is going to be an explosive offense in the past, and now you can still do things with Alvin Kamara. This is going to be totally different with Taysom Hill. This is going to be something that I feel like maybe we've never seen in this league. From a power run standpoint, from how quickly the runs come from the quarterback, how often they're called. I don't know if this works for 4 weeks, but I do know I don't want to be Raheem Morris and the Atlanta Falcons trying to figure out what this offense will look like this week. I don't want to be the first team to play them before it gets on tape, because very early on in the game, I think it's going to be difficult to stop. I think you're not going to know which plays to call in order to, whether you want to force the ball out of his hands fast or play zone and make him throw it in front of you. This is going to be very interesting. And if Sean Payton pulls this off, and if this works, this is really going to be one of the greater coaching decisions and best coaching jobs of his career.
Want it, Stephen A?
Oh, I thought Max was going. My fault.